Hey YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is LaDonna and I am a first year homeschooling mom of 2. And on my channel, I just like to share our journey, where we are, what we're learning. Today, I want to talk to you about why we love BJU Press English. BJU Press stands for the Bob Jones University, and they produce curriculum, all kinds of curriculum, not just English curriculum. It's used within private schools and it's used within home schools. They also offer distance learning. I do not know much about that. We have not used any of those resources, so I won't be speaking to that. And I will not be speaking to their other subjects. I will only be speaking to English 3 and English 5. This is my daughter's work text. This is her book. They call this a work text. And then I also have the teacher's manual as well. So this goes along with the 3rd grade English, and then I have the 5th grade English as well. My son is a 5th grader, and I have my teacher's manual right here. We are halfway through our school year, so we are right on target with where we need to be within English. First, let me tell you why I chose this particular curriculum. This is what I researched the most. This is one of the ones I was most nervous about. Why was I most nervous about English? Not because I was afraid to teach English, but because I know how foundational English is. That is what was driving my concern and my worry and my obsession in researching while I was looking for the perfect English curriculum. Well, I'm here to tell you that there is no perfect curriculum, so please have peace in whatever it is that you're using and what is working for your family. This is what we chose, and I'm excited to tell you it is working. I'm only going to speak for their 2nd grade through their 6th grade level, okay? Once you get to 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, the whole setup of this changes. So it is set up for 160 days, and it is broken up into 16 chapters. I'm going to flip in here and make sure that's right. Yes, it's set up into 16 chapters. And how they alternate between writing and grammar is by the chapters. So the very first chapter is a grammar chapter. Then the 2nd chapter is a writing chapter. And then it goes back and forth between the two. You go back to grammar and then writing and then grammar. What's really incredible about this is that the chapters are set up like units. So like you saw in my daughter's English 3. The first chapter is sentences. That is what the whole chapter is about. We discuss sentences and fragments, subjects and predicates, telling sentences and questions, commands and exclamations, 4 types of sentences, combining subjects and predicates, compound sentences, and run-on sentences. That is all what's within that one chapter, and every single concept is built upon. Like I said, this curriculum is set up for 160 days, so if you do a typical 180-day school year, you're going to spend at least 2 weeks on one chapter. It just really depends on you, your child, and how you have planned your homeschool for the year and what their needs are. That has been about our timeline. We spend 2 weeks on one chapter and then we move on. And that's what's really cool about BJU Press. This is grammar instruction and this is writing instruction. Okay, what else do we love about BJU Press? I love the teacher's manual. When we purchased this curriculum, I purchased it as a bundle at christianbooks.com, and it did come with the test and the answer key. I don't think you need the test and the answer key. I will explain that in a few minutes, but I am so glad that we went with this because I do not have a professional background in education. So I really wanted something that was going to help me teach grammar and writing. The teacher's manual is just absolutely amazing. Let me go on to just a lesson to show you. Okay, so this is my teacher's manual for my 3rd grader. I'm going to try to hold this up. This is going to look like a lot, but it is not a lot. This is all one lesson. I'm going to flip this over so we can talk about it. But basically, this is your lesson. All this information right here on the sides, and right here, and right here, and the same thing on the back, that is for you, Mom. That is for the teacher. This right here, this is an actual picture of what is in your child's work text. It also has the answer key. So as you are teaching and introducing the concepts, you are able to see exactly what your child is looking at. You have at the top the objectives, you have the materials, you have the theme for the chapter. Each chapter is themed, and then you have your introduction, and then you have your teaching for understanding. This is scripted, and I love that. I do not know how to formally teach English, so this is a necessary tool for me. Yes, we can talk about something, but to explain it to my child in a way for them to grasp, I needed someone in a sense to hold my hand, and this teacher manual does that. So you can kind of see like how there's different font and different coloring. There are things highlighted. Well, that is what is happening there. The lesson is scripted. And then the same thing for the rest of the lesson. This is the end of the lesson. And I also love this little section right here. This is for if it were being used within a school setting, if there were children who were bilingual, who spoke English and Spanish. It's just some extra help for them. I thought that that was really cool. And then also right here, what's really helpful in the back of your teacher's manual, if you buy it new. I don't think it'll be there if you buy it used or if it's not damaged, but there is a disc, and this is basically they call it the teacher's toolkit. And if you need extra practice or extra resources, you can just pop that into your computer, and bam, you've got worksheets on the concept if your child is struggling grasping what is being taught to them. Now earlier I said that it was gentle. I find this to be very gentle. So this is my daughter's page. This is not the same lesson, but basically this is what her book looks like. I did not take it apart just for the sake of storage, but as you can see, the lesson for today was all about irregular verbs. You've got a little bit of direction here, and then you have some instructions and what they need to do. So right here is the guided practice, and then on the back you have more practice. I know some people say that they do not make their child do the back of the paper. We do the back of the paper, and I don't find it to take us, or the back of the worksheet, I don't find that it takes us any longer. We probably spend about 30 minutes on an English lesson. Now it's going to vary between the grammar and the writing, but I don't think that that is too long for an English concept. So that is what I mean when I find that it to be gentle. It's not unnecessary busy work. It's actually giving them opportunities to apply what they have learned. For example, future tense verbs. Okay, she's got 5 sentences. She's going to write whether the verb is past, present, or future. Then she's got 3 problems after that where she's got to make the verb future tense. Or 3 sentences, not 3 problems. Then she's got 4 more sentences where she has to decide, is it a past, present, or future? Then she actually has to find the verb in the next 4 sentences. And then the next 5 sentences, she has to make those verbs future tense as well. Keeps them engaged. I think that that was very intentional on their part when they set up the curriculum. Okay, so earlier I said I don't think that you need the test. Well, the reason why I don't think that you need to buy the test separately is because after each chapter, let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm looking at my son's book. After each chapter, there is a review. So like this is chapter 5 in my son's book. There's a chapter review, and you're just going over the concept that was introduced and how it was built upon. And then you have the back right here as well. So to save money, if you just wanted to use the chapter review within the work text, you could. I don't think it's necessary to have to purchase that separately. Don't do it if you don't need it. Just use the chapter review that's in here, because the test is set up the exact same way. It's just not color. What I also love is after every chapter review, I have to go to the back because I tear them out when they're done, there is a cumulative review. And that is what I mean by this being comprehensive and thorough. They keep going back. They keep going back over what has been introduced and taught. Like for example, on this one, they're bringing stuff back from chapter 1. They're bringing stuff back from chapter 3. They're bringing stuff back from chapter 5. They're bringing concepts back from chapter 9 and chapter 11. And I just appreciate that, because if he's like, Mom, wait a minute, I don't remember that, we can flip back to that chapter and we can re-discuss it. So that is what I mean when I say that it is thorough and it is comprehensive. As a mother who has to teach this, I really love, even though I have a 3rd grader and a 5th grader, some, not all of the chapters, but some of the chapters actually align. This is not a grab and go curriculum. This is teacher-led, or this is parent-led. I don't find it to be teacher intensive. It only takes me like 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most to read through this before I even start the lesson. You know, some lessons are lengthier than others, and I think that they do a good job of sprinkling or spreading out those lessons throughout each chapter. Some are going to be more intense for the child. Like an example of that would be the writing. When they are introducing the writing, like one chapter, they had to write a persuasive essay. Now, obviously, for my 3rd grader, that was on a 3rd grade level, and for my 5th grader, that was on a 5th grade level. Well, they spend a lot of time on the writing process itself, which I think is beautiful. You know, in this teacher's manual, in the back, there are so many amazing resources. One of the things that's back here, let me see if I can find it. I didn't mark it, so I'm sorry. It's the, you know, the writing process and what that looks like. And there's like a whole section. So this is just, you know, the opening page, and then it's probably got about 15 pages on the writing process. So at the beginning of every writing chapter, we go over this, and whatever their focus is for the chapter, like writing a persuasive essay, that unit, you go through each process. Okay, you have to plan. Well, we all know when it comes to planning, that's pretty easy. Okay, now after you've planned, you have to draft. That's kind of simple too. Then you have step 3, revising, step 4, proofreading, and step 5, publishing. Well, all of those steps look different because each step requires a different amount of work. So my point is, I think that they do a good job as far as the intensity of the work for each lesson. You know, you're not just hitting it hard every single day. They do a good job of, you know, you have some simple lessons, some intense lessons. What else do I love about this? This is a Christian curriculum. I do not think that it is in your face. An example would be, I think this is chapter 4 when they had to write the persuasive essay. This is my son's notebook. In lesson 32, it was placed at the end of the lesson, and it says it's talking about identifying dishonest tactics of advertising, and then it wanted me to read Ephesians chapter 4 verse 25 to my child, and I was to point out that a Christian has a biblical responsibility to be honest and upright in all of his communication, even in his persuasive writing. A Christian writer needs to be especially careful to present the facts. Well, then it says BAT, which stands for a Bible Action Truth. So it's telling me to go to the front of my teacher's manual to the Bible Action Truth section. So this is it. It's a couple of pages, and it tells me to look for 5D. So I look for number 5, and then I find section 5, and then I find section D. So this is the love life principle. We love God because he first loved us. God's action of manifesting his love to us through his Son demonstrates the truth that love must be exercised. Since God acted in love towards us, believers must act likewise by showing godly love towards others. And we can do that in communication. And it breaks it down with some Bible verses, and it goes on to say we should have control of our tongues so that we will not say things displeasing to God. We should encourage others and be kind and helpful in what we say. So you just, in a sense, have the freedom to go as in depth as you want to with that. If you wanted to skip it all together, you can completely skip it all together. And that is what I mean by I don't think that it is in your face. Every chapter is themed, and at the beginning of each chapter, there's just a space for you, mom, or whoever the instructor is. You can see the topic for each lesson. You can see the page numbers. You can actually see the page numbers that go along with the toolkit if you need extra practice. You can see the objectives, and there's just a ton of helpful information. You have a theme for each chapter. So if you were in a classroom setting, or maybe if you wanted to decorate your schoolroom, you could totally do that. As far as affordability, that's a pretty subjective term. It just really depends. For what we were able to get, I found it to be very affordable. It all depends on what your budget is and where you purchase it from. If you plan it just right, you can get it on sale. I think christianbooks.com I think they're currently having a sale, and you can get the whole homeschool bundle for $80. For it to be writing and grammar, where I don't have to purchase a separate writing curriculum, I do find it to be very affordable. It is working for us, and I'm planning to use it again for next year. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask. I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. I did purchase this. I'm not an affiliate with anybody, but we love BJU Press. I highly recommend it. If you have used BJU Press, please tell me about it in the comments below, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.